Everyone, we thank you for joining us today for our Omni-Channel Basics for CPG webinar. I'm your host today, Karen Kurzweil, and I welcome you to contact myself or Janet after the webinar to request additional information on our white papers, future webinars, software, and services. Before we get started, I'd like to give you a few instructions. We have muted all participants, but it's also helpful to ask you to put your own line on mute as well, since headphones and other devices sometimes still cause static. Second, we've activated the chat. Feel free to ask questions. We will wait, however, until the end of the presentation to address those. Lastly, we are hoping to have this presentation recorded and available for you. Our presenter today is Janet Dorncott. Janet has over 20 years of experience in information technology. She started her career with her own desktop publishing business, worked for a network protocol analyzing company, then moved on to Sybase, a database technology currently owned by SAP. In 1996, she founded Relational Solutions and co-owns the company with Rob York. Relational Solutions has implemented data warehouses and business intelligence solutions since 1996. The complex issues associated with integrating point-of-sale and syndicated data led them to their focus on the consumer goods industry, where they've developed applications including POS Smart, BlueSky, and TradeSmart. Janet has been published in many articles and is a participating author in the Essentials of Shopper Technology and in New Directions in Shopper Technology. She's a member of Retail Wire's Brain Trust and founder of the Demand Signal Repository Institute on LinkedIn. With that, I'll turn it over to Janet to kick off today's presentation.
Thank you, Karen. Today we'll discuss what the Omni-Channel is and why it matters not only to retailers, but also to CPG companies. We'll discuss how to eliminate internal competition and how to determine what forms of selling and what social media are impacting sales. I'm going to start with a brief company background. Relational Solutions was started back in 1996 as a data warehouse and business intelligence consulting company. Back in the 90s, companies really struggled with analyzing data, and that's because there really wasn't a very good way to integrate it and manage ongoing changes after code was written to integrate it. Our company implemented some of this country's largest scale data warehouses. Some of those included Chase Manhattan Bank, Chrysler, Xerox, Bell South, Synergy, and many others. We actually implemented over 200 business intelligence solutions for our customers. And we started focusing in the consumer goods space back in 2000. And the reason was, as Karen mentioned, the added complexity with integrating syndicated data and POS with companies' internal data. Today, they've also got the added complexity of integrating data from their website, from mobile purchases, from Amazon purchases, retailer purchases, and so on. And with that, I'll jump right into the Omni-Channel. So what is the Omni-Channel? The Omni-Channel is a term used to describe all the various channels in which your product can sell, as well as the customer experience associated with that sale. And that includes the selling price, the venue, the payment experience, customer service, and the integration with the customer, or I'm sorry, the interaction with your customer. The Omni-Channel is not necessarily a place, but it's a buyer experience. In general, the buying process for consumer goods has changed. In a recent interview conducted by Consumer Goods Technology, the average marketing director believes marketing has changed more in the past 2 years than it has in the past 20. So how has it changed? Today, with online shoppers growing every year, the Omni-Channel includes traditional and modern forms of purchase. Traditional forms of purchase are generally referred to as in-store purchases, meaning a customer buys a product at a brick-and-mortar store. But shopping behavior has also evolved. With 83% of consumers making purchases online, the Omni-Channel is in full play. Consumers now have many options. Buying today is digital, it's mobile, it's in person. It's also heavily influenced by social. Consumers can shop at a store, on their phone while in a store, on a tablet, at a kiosk, through a catalog, even through gaming devices. They're scanning QR codes to learn about products quickly before purchasing. They're also researching opinions. They're getting their ideas from Pinterest and Instagram and friends on Facebook. The Omni-Channel is rapidly growing in the evolution, and it's changing the evolution in the way people are buying things. In many ways, it's very disruptive. Retailers and CPG companies are playing catch-up just trying to get their items noticed. Some companies still don't get the importance of it. Those are the companies who won't last long in this new age of catering to your customer. According to McKinsey Global Institute, Facebook users spend 700 billion minutes a month on their site. Google has over 34,000 searches every second. Twitter users tweet 500 million tweets per day. On the right, you can see how many sites people are using and the various types of influence they have. Whether you're marketing on these sites or whether opinions are being shared, social and e-commerce sites are being used by over 80% of people on a regular basis. Social selling accounts for up to 10% of traffic on retail websites. This information can be used for research, for networking, for relationship building. For example, 90% of attendees who registered for this webinar came from social media sites. The rest were email responses and other generic searches and so forth. Retailers today are capturing that traffic. They often drop cookies on your browser, so the next thing you know, you're seeing promotions, advertising, their mobile app. That way, when you're back in the brick-and-mortar store, you can easily browse a retailer app for sales. CPG companies should also and are also offering deals the same way. The modern sales professional leverages social networks to be where their buyers are. Those buyers are online, on their phones, using tablets, watching TV, using gaming devices, any time of the day or night. Think about the evolution of communication. It's gone from print to radio to TV to phone to email to web to social. People can buy the way they want and they can voice their opinions immediately. So companies that don't invest in social selling will not likely succeed. Investing in operational and scaling social selling will have a huge competitive advantage. According to IBM, 78% of sales professionals using social networks outperform their peers. Leveraging social media sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google+ will get fresh ideas on how to find, relate, connect, and engage with your customers and future advocates. For example, 35% of Pinterest users discovered their product that they wanted to purchase there. 26% were reminded of that purchase, and 19% were alerted of that sale. Customers also use QR codes. 85% of people have cell phones today. I think that's probably a low number, but that's the statistic I found. More than half of those are capable of scanning QR codes. Almost 20% of people actually have and use QR code scanners. Today, every ad should have a QR code on it. It is the fastest way for smartphone users to get to your website and to find out more information about your products and brands. Today, customers want to be catered to. They want you to know who they are. Marketing requires you to know your customer. Targeting consumers based on their persona and measuring the success of those promotions is important, yet the marketing is moving so fast, the analysis part of it is getting lost in the shuffle. People also like to share their opinions. When they get stuck in traffic, they use Waze to let others know that there's going to be a wait. I use Waze all the time. I like to save people the pain of getting tickets. I like to tell when there's a police officer ticketing on the road. Other people use it because they like to gain a new status associated with it and get points associated with it because they get rewarded for certain points. And users today also like to brag and complain about things. They use Yelp. Yelp is used to brag about things. It's also used to complain about things. I've used Yelp for years to get people's opinions. I actually used it twice recently to offer my own opinion, which is not something I typically do, but I used it to brag about the gym I go to. I also used Yelp recently to complain about the terrible service I had at a restaurant where I sat waiting for my meal for 2 hours, and then they didn't even do anything to rectify it or discount it or anything else. But brands are now defined by these experiences that customers have and how they convey those experiences to others. Customers trust peer ratings, they trust reviews and recommendations, and they trust that much more than they do advertising. I rarely stay at a hotel where I don't check the ratings of the hotel or go into a restaurant without first checking what people are saying about it. I never rent a movie without first going on Internet Movie Database and or Yahoo's user reviews. Those are all things that people do before they want to spend their money. Groupon is a different way of interacting, but it's the same in certain ways in terms of they're getting last-minute deals and special offers to their subscribers. I use Groupon, and I actually used it just last night when I walked into a store and we're buying after school or going back to school clothes. We walked into Aeropostale. I asked my Google Now. I asked Google Now, and I asked it to show me coupons for Aeropostale. It was great. I mean, the coupons came up right away. But those types of applications are used regularly. Oh, I'm sorry about that. When IBM asked marketers to discuss how they analyzed their campaigns, the respondents basically felt their analysis was not effective. 79% of respondents said that they run their own social marketing. 27% said they don't perform any analysis. And 34% said they do their own analysis through spreadsheets and reports that aren't automated or standardized. Social media marketing and selling is all new. That it's so new that the analysis part of it, for the most part, is just lost. And companies are struggling with getting social and mobile set up correctly, let alone figuring out how to analyze it. At a recent conference, Maria Maltoni used Sephora as an example of a retailer who's embracing the Omni-Channel. They do about $300 million in annual e-commerce sales. This is a 300% increase over the past year in mobile shopping. They're also analyzing these sales and have determined that 70% of its mobile traffic comes from iOperating system devices. They also had 3 million iDevice downloads of their app. Their site also gets 1.5 million visitors per month. Later I'll show you some examples of how that gets analyzed. It's not just the in-store or online shopping that matters, it's how they're interacting. Offers come from the manufacturers and retailers. They're also accessing reviews, shipping information, messaging, and so forth. Some stores offer their own apps, such as like Giant Eagle. Also, Giant Eagle has their Get-Go stores where customers can walk right up to the kiosk and enter their own order. They receive a slip and their name or number will be called back and they pick up the order. They let you create your own shopping list at home with the Giant Eagle app. It lets you go right online, create your own shopping list. And then when you get to the store, they can send you offers, or they do send you offers related to those items that you have on that shopping list. They also provide you with a checkout list so that you can check off the items that you're shopping for and that you pick up as you're going through the store. Apps like Groupon and Retail Me Not, for example. I mentioned Groupon. I also used Retail Me Not the other day. They offer you access simply by asking, right? Logging right online and checking for those coupons. Like I said, I use my Ask Google Now and simply ask the phone to show me coupons for Forever 21 or Aeropostale or wherever I happen to be. At Aeropostale last night, I received a $15 off $75 or more coupon. It just popped up on my screen. While I'm at the register, she scanned it. My $90 bill went to $75, and boom. These are apps that are definitely impacting sales. In fact, the lady standing next to me also had a smartphone and asked what I just did. I showed her right where the coupon code was, and it scanned for her before she left the register as well. Again, these are all impacting sales, and I recently heard a pretty cool example of how retailers are using apps to improve the in-store experience. I can't remember the name of the retailer, but basically they were talking about the customer walks in. When they walk in, they check in through Foursquare or some other application. The coupons for what they typically like to buy are presented through their mobile app. They can also then check in through the store app. Oh, it was a store app actually, and then they can click to request service, a service consultant, through their own smartphone, who can then immediately get a message that someone wants help in their store. They can quickly send them a, on my way, and in the meantime, they have access to that customer's information where they can see their buying patterns, what they typically buy, how much they typically spend, and by the time they get to that end user in the store, they've also got recommendations for them that they can show them right there at the store or through their tablet or smartphone. They can also even check out seamlessly without even being at the register through a credit card swipe that is right on the mobile device being used by the in-store clerk. Target plans to add standard shipping from 135 stores in 38 markets. So one of the things the Omni-Channel is doing is it's causing more people to buy online and go into the stores less often. Well, if they're buying online, they want fast delivery. So in order to do that, since these stores are able to reduce the amount of shelf space they have, they can increase their inventory space. So by adding shipping to 135 of their Target stores where they already have the facilities in place, it gives Target an advantage of 1 to 2 days of delivery service. They're also offering Target subscribers a 10% discount on their order for their Target Visa card holders. At Macy's, they're doing something similar. They're integrating their retailer experience with their customer service as well as inventory. And they plan to reduce shopping area, stock more inventory, and leverage that brick and mortar store for those people locally who are ordering their products online. Today's buyers are informed. Apps like Walgreens' new aisle 411 lets customers say the name of what the item is that they're looking for, and it guides them right to that location in the store. I used it myself the other day when I was at Walgreens looking for NyQuil, and it led me right to where I needed to be. QR code scanners give instant information on the item, and if you want an opinion, customers can look up a company's Facebook page, search for hashtag tweets, and just ask their friends if they want. Controlling your social reputation is more important now than it ever has been. It is absolutely critical to control that. And today's shoppers are also more cost sensitive. They will hunt around for the best price. This happens more often with underemployment and with poor economic conditions. It also happens a lot now because reality TV shows are making it very cool to coupon stack, and what we're seeing is shows like extreme couponing where people spend, they buy $400 worth of items. They have done a lot of coupon stacking where they've accumulated coupons through online and papers and everything else, and they're getting to the counter and they've got a bill for $7 when they've got $400 worth of products in their basket. This is an example that was given by Valerie Malfoni at a recent conference. This product is used by athletes, and she herself uses them and used to buy them at Whole Foods. Then she found out she could buy them in bulk through Amazon, and so she started doing that. Not only did she start doing it, she started informing her running friends and the coordinators of the different running marathons that she was running, who are also now buying them online. And this would certainly have an impact on wholesale or Whole Foods sales of this particular product in their local market if the local group and the runners locally know that they can buy them cheaper online and in bulk. The bottom line is today customers want the best price and they don't care who gets credit. At a recent conference, retailers and consumer goods manufacturers expressed concern as it pertains to the Omni-Channel. The most notable concern was the customer perception. This seemed to stem mainly from the fact that a customer can go into a retailer and purchase a product for one price, go online to a retailer's website and find it available at another price, and possibly even go to a completely different site like Amazon and get yet another price. And this is leading some consumers to distrust the retailer as well as the CPG manufacturer. They're also getting annoyed by the amount of time they spend looking for the best price. The retailers and manufacturers are facing huge hurdles when trying to present a single image to the consumer. And we'll discuss ways to address those issues shortly. But it's important for social media marketers to know what venue is best for them. This is an infogram from Ventures that displays a nice overview of sites used for different types of activities. Companies are asking customers to chime in with their opinions. Those opinions are about your brands, and you need to encourage them to control those. You need to encourage them, and you need to control those opinions. Great service is a must, and now is also a matter of public record. People can see your interactions, so you got to make them good. And remember that whatever you write today will still be available in 2 years from now, and somebody wants to see issues that have gone wrong in the past. So nowadays, it's a matter of record. Companies that have the ability to measure what matters will forge ahead of the competition over the next 2 years. According to IBM, they conducted a survey. 71% of respondents believe integration across owned, earned, and paid channels is critical. Only 9% of companies interviewed believe that their digital marketing and their analysis is actually working well. A key issue for companies is getting these new cloud-based teams working together with the retail teams. In most companies, both retailer and CPG manufacturers, the cloud teams are separate from the retailer teams. This inherently puts the company in competition with itself. We actually even see mobile and retail teams viewing themselves as competition at most companies. The sentiment seems to be that teams related to mobile, social, and e-commerce view themselves as new, modern, cutting edge, while they view the retail teams as old, stodgy, and outdated. Conversely, retail teams view the mobile teams as interfering with their sales and as young kids. They really don't understand their business. This seems to be a very common issue at just about every company I've come into. Another key issue is coordinating pricing and marketing strategies. Mobile teams have separate budgets. Therefore, their marketing and pricing strategies are sometimes being developed in a bubble that excludes the traditional retail and marketing teams. Competition is always a concern. It's hard enough competing with your real competition. So companies have to make sure they're not competing with themselves. Our data integration engine integrates internal data as well as external data. Over the years, there have been many new data sources. Our enterprise architecture withstands the test of time. We can integrate virtually every data type: structured data, unstructured big data, e-commerce, POS, syndicated data. We can also integrate social media sentiment, clickstream analysis to determine what's having the most impact. And I'll show you some examples of that in just a few slides here. This is a very high-level view of our omni-channel architecture, and it's going to be about as technical as I get, so don't worry about that. I'm going into the actual report soon. But the database is independent, and that's important because this open architecture concept that we have, this is one of the reasons it has withstood the test of time. The database is independent. It can reside on virtually any database type, whether that's Microsoft, Oracle, Hadoop, Teradata, Aster. We support all databases. We can access virtually any data source, thus allowing you to integrate other internal data with POS, with coupon information, with e-commerce data. We also have the ability to integrate that data with syndicated data and internal information, including your promotions, your forecasts, your shipments, your cost of goods sold, and so forth. All of these things that are going to help you to determine ROI and what's the best ROI for your business. The first umbrella here, the first line is the underlying architecture. That is integrating, staging, correlating all that information, harmonizing it with your internal data. And then that second bar represents the user interface in the reports. And that's where I'm going to show you some examples here as well. But according to Gartner, there is a huge gap between how important marketing is and how well that they are performing. Brand building, for example, 79% of the surveyors knew it was important. 47% think they're actually performing it well. Measuring marketing effectiveness, 76% know it's important. Only 29% think they're actually doing it well. And the list goes on. You can read right through this list. The bottom line is that measuring performance is important, and companies just aren't doing it well. With consumer goods companies being squeezed by retailers and being squeezed on the raw material costs because they continue to increase, companies have to cut costs everywhere. The next logical place to try and get ROI for a business is out of marketing. It tends to be one of any company's highest areas of spend, yet most don't even know what promotions or channels are effective or not. Integrating and leveraging that data is a necessity in order to understand which promotions are effective. Problem is, not only are they not getting those reports, they're not even getting that data integrated first, which is the first step to understanding that. This is an example of clickstream analysis, for example. I'll show you this in our BlueSky tool. I just wanted to show you an example of the output and the type of information that can be gleaned. We're looking at names, emails, phone numbers, their, what they clicked on first, when they first came to your website, what their titles are, how many followers they have, whether they clicked through Twitter or they came through Facebook, and so forth. This is an example of social sentiment data. Again, I'll show you what this looks like in our tool. But again, you can see clippings and of what people are saying and what their opinions are and so forth. So here's an example of a basic report that is simply showing counts. How many interactions do you have? How many comments and likes do you have? This is a very basic report that was available back in 2009. Today you should know much more than what we're seeing in this example here. Oops, sorry about that. That didn't catch up. But again, this is some basic information. Twitter interactions, comments, likes. This is available in 2009. Today, more information can be gleaned than you could before. This report actually shows me positive and negative sentiment by gender, for example. This one is showing me positive and negative sentiment by gender across geographic areas. So, for example, I can see that in Louisiana I've got a lot of negative sentiment for some reason on my Twitter followers. I can drag and drop this information however I want, create report views however I want. This here is an example of where we're charting our top states with positive Twitter chatter, and you'll notice that in this case it's a pie chart. For those companies interested in seeing demonstrations of this, we would ask that you contact me or Karen afterwards and schedule a demo. And we would set that up specifically for your company. Conversely, this chart is showing me where my most negative sentiment is coming from. If we could align this with our sales, we might see a correlation showing how sentiment is affecting sales, and that might prompt management to investigate the issue more deeply. Understanding how the retailers are performing. This one's showing me how are our brick and mortar stores performing. Quarter by quarter comparisons over some of the top retailers are being shown in this example. This report shows actual comments and allows users to drag and drop information into the report to gain even more intelligence. These are just a few examples of reports we've created to show our customers how they can leverage the social media data and the Omni-Channel. As I said in an earlier slide, companies need to walk before they run. If you want to leverage social media data with your existing data, you first need to make sure you have a sound architecture that will allow for the integration of that data. Social media data is just one input that will help you increase sales and improve brand loyalty. Getting the foundation in place to actually analyze it and save the company more money is the most critical. If you're interested in more solutions in the big data omni-channel space or POS integration space, please contact us so we can schedule a demo for your company. And with that, I'll give it back to Karen.
Thanks, Janet. That was a great overview of the Omni-Channel. I think we all learned a lot. If you're interested in having a consulting session with Janet to discuss and brainstorm on how your company can leverage social media, please contact me at extension 232. In addition, look for our next webinar as well as other informational webinars on our website. You can download our white papers, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or simply give us a call. We do try and keep an update on our latest information on that website. Thank you all again for joining us today. We hope you found the information helpful. Please send us any comments on how you like the webinar and how we can improve upon it. We'll follow up with the questions that were submitted and related answers. Thanks again, and have a great day.